Ladies and gentlemen, wisdom and foolishness are not gifts of birth. They are choices, cultivated over time. Every woman has the potential to be wise, strong, and admirable. But some, without realizing it, walk a path that leads them far from the light of wisdom and into the shadows of ignorance. What defines a foolish woman? It is not a lack of education or intelligence. No, it is the lack of self-awareness, the inability to see beyond the surface, the refusal to learn and grow. Wisdom and foolishness are not gifts of birth, they are choices, cultivated over time. Every woman has the potential to be wise, strong, and admirable, but some, without realizing it, walk a path that leads them far from the light of wisdom and into the shadows of ignorance. And while society often places intelligence on a pedestal, it is not intelligence alone that defines a woman's strength. It is her character, her awareness, her ability to rise above fleeting emotions and impulsive action. A foolish woman does not lack intelligence, she lacks wisdom. And wisdom is not about how much one knows, but how well one understands. A foolish woman is ruled by her emotions. She allows her anger, jealousy, and insecurities to dictate her actions. She is easily offended, quick to react, and slow to reflect. When faced with a challenge, she chooses to lash out rather than step back and assess the situation. She blames others, seeking comfort in victimhood rather than accountability. The wise woman, however, understands that self-control is a form of power. She does not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions for her. She knows that pausing, reflecting, and choosing her words carefully will always serve her better than reckless reaction. Strength is not in how loud she argues, but in how well she composes herself in the face of adversity. A foolish woman obsesses over vanity. She believes that beauty alone will secure her success, that her worth is defined by external validation. She spends hours perfecting her appearance, but neglects her mind, her spirit, and her growth. But what happens when beauty fades? What remains when the admiration she seeks is no longer there? A wise woman understands that beauty is an asset, but not a foundation. She invests in her character, knowing that a sharp mind, a kind heart, and a strong will are what make her truly unforgettable. When she enters a room, it is not her appearance alone that commands attention, but the confidence and wisdom she carries within her. A foolish woman refuses to take responsibility. She blames others for her misfortunes, expecting life to hand her success without effort. When she fails, she looks outward rather than inward. She would rather find fault in circumstances, in people, in luck, anything but herself. The wise woman knows that accountability is freedom. She owns her choices, her failures, and her triumphs. She learns, adapts, and grows. She understands that the only way to truly change her life is to take responsibility for it. Foolishness is not permanent. It is a mindset, a set of habits, a way of thinking that can be changed. Awareness is the first step toward wisdom. A woman who recognizes her mistakes, who understands her weaknesses, has already taken the first step toward transformation. Growth is a choice. The question is, will you choose to remain where you are, or will you rise into wisdom? The choice is yours. Emotional intelligence is one of the greatest indicators of wisdom. It is not just about being smart, it is about being aware. Aware of your emotions, aware of your reactions, and aware of how your actions affect others. A foolish woman does not lack intelligence, but she lacks control over herself. She is quick to anger, quick to speak, and slow to listen. She allows her emotions to dictate her decisions rather than using her mind to assess the situation. She believes that expressing every emotion, without thought or restraint, makes her strong, but in reality, it makes her vulnerable to manipulation, regret, and unnecessary conflict. A wise woman, on the other hand, understands the value of self-awareness. She does not suppress her emotions, but she controls them. She does not allow a temporary feeling to make permanent decisions for her. When faced with adversity, she does not lash out in anger or break down in despair. Instead, she pauses. She takes a deep breath. She evaluates whether her response will improve or worsen the situation. She does not let her emotions rule her, she rules over them. And in doing so, she earns respect, credibility, and peace of mind. A foolish woman finds comfort in drama. She thrives in conflict, creating unnecessary arguments, seeking attention through emotional outbursts. She is the woman who always has a problem with someone, who constantly feels victimized, who believes that the world is against her. But the reality is, the world is not against her. Her own lack of emotional discipline is. A wise woman does not waste time on meaningless battles. She chooses her fights carefully, knowing that not every situation deserves a reaction. She understands that energy spent on unnecessary drama is energy taken away from her own growth and success. A foolish woman allows her emotions to cloud her judgment. She believes every thought that enters her mind without questioning its validity. If she feels disrespected, she reacts before confirming if the disrespect was even intentional. If she feels jealous, she assumes others are trying to harm her instead of recognizing her own insecurities. If she is criticized, she becomes defensive rather than seeing an opportunity for growth. But the wise woman is different. She questions her thoughts. She asks herself, is this feeling based on reality, or is it my own perception? She does not act on impulse, but on understanding. She does not let emotions destroy her relationships, career, or inner peace. But here is the truth. Emotional intelligence is not something you are born with. It is something you develop. It takes practice, self-reflection, and the willingness to change. If you find yourself reacting emotionally, if you see these traits within you, do not be discouraged. It means you have the power to transform. The first step toward wisdom is awareness. The second is action. The question is, will you remain a prisoner to your emotions, or will you rise above them and take control? The choice is yours. Vanity is a dangerous illusion. It promises confidence but delivers insecurity. It promises admiration but offers only fleeting attention. A foolish woman believes that her greatest asset is her appearance, that her beauty alone will open doors, command respect, and secure her future. She invests time, energy, and resources into perfecting her looks, yet neglects the most important part of herself, her mind and character. She believes that external validation defines her worth, but in reality it is a fragile foundation, easily shaken by time, criticism, and the shifting standards of society. A wise woman, however, understands that beauty is not a tool for power but a gift to be appreciated, not worshipped. She takes care of herself, but she does not depend on her looks for success. She invests in knowledge, in wisdom, in the strength of her spirit. She knows that true confidence does not come from how perfect she appears in the mirror, but from how capable, intelligent, and self-assured she is when no one is watching. She understands that beauty without depth is emptiness, and admiration without respect is meaningless. A foolish woman seeks attention rather than substance. She dresses not for herself, but for the validation of others. She spends hours perfecting her image, but ignores the power of her intellect. She believes that if she looks good enough, she will be loved. But love built on surface attraction is as temporary as the beauty that inspired it. She fears aging, not because of the natural process itself, but because she has tied her entire self-worth to something that time will inevitably take away. She chases trends, constantly trying to fit an ever-changing mold, never realizing that the most powerful woman is not the one who seeks to be admired, but the one who commands respect. A wise woman knows that elegance is more than appearance. It is the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she treats others. She understands that beauty can capture attention, but only depth can hold it. She does not seek to impress, she seeks to inspire. She does not compete with other women over looks because she understands that real competition is not external, it is within herself. To be better, wiser, and stronger than she was yesterday. A foolish woman believes that if she loses her beauty, she loses everything. A wise woman knows that if she loses everything, her wisdom, her character, and her strength will always remain. And that is true power. If you recognize vanity within yourself, do not despair. Awareness is the first step toward wisdom. Ask yourself, do I seek admiration or do I seek respect? Do I focus more on how I appear than on who I am? The choice is yours, to remain trapped in the illusion of vanity or to rise beyond it, embracing a beauty that cannot be measured in mirrors, but in the strength of your presence and the legacy you leave behind. Ladies and gentlemen, accountability is the foundation of growth. It is the ability to take responsibility for one's actions, decisions, and outcomes in life. A foolish woman avoids this at all costs. She finds comfort in blaming others, her family, her friends, her circumstances, even fate itself, for her failures. She convinces herself that life is unfair, that she has been dealt a bad hand, and that nothing is ever her fault. This mindset traps her in a cycle of stagnation, where she remains powerless and bitter, unable to change because she refuses to accept that she is in control of her own destiny. A wise woman, however, embraces accountability. She understands that while life may not always be fair, how she responds to challenges is entirely up to her. She does not waste time complaining or making excuses. Instead, she looks at her mistakes, her setbacks, and her failures with a critical eye. She asks herself, what could I have done differently? What can I learn from this? How can I improve? She does not fear responsibility, she welcomes it, because she knows that taking ownership of her life is the key to success. A foolish woman resents correction. When someone points out her mistakes, she becomes defensive, refusing to acknowledge any fault. She sees constructive criticism as a personal attack, rather than an opportunity to grow. She would rather protect her ego than develop her character. And so she remains blind to her flaws, repeating the same mistakes over and over, never progressing. The wise woman, on the other hand, understands that feedback, even when uncomfortable, is a gift. She listens, she reflects, and she applies what she learns. She understands that pride blocks growth, but humility opens doors to endless improvement. A foolish woman justifies her bad decisions. She finds reasons to excuse laziness, irresponsibility, or destructive habits. If she fails, she blames her boss, the economy, or bad luck, never herself. If she is in a toxic relationship, she blames the other person but refuses to recognize her role in allowing it. If she does not achieve her goals, she claims the world is against her rather than admitting she did not put in the necessary effort. A wise woman, however, understands that growth begins with honesty. She does not sugarcoat her failures or make excuses. If she falls short, she owns it. She asks herself what she needs to change, and then does the hard work to improve. A foolish woman is a prisoner of her own denial, but a wise woman is the master of her own destiny. The difference between the two is simple: choice. Will you continue to blame the world, or will you take control of your life? The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your actions, you step into your power. You become the author of your own story, no longer a victim but a creator. The choice is yours. Remain in denial or rise in accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, Gossip is a disease of the mind and spirit. It destroys trust, weakens character, and wastes valuable time. A foolish woman thrives on gossip and drama, feeding off the misfortunes and private affairs of others. She takes pleasure in spreading rumors, twisting facts, and creating unnecessary tension between people. She believes that talking about others makes her more interesting, more connected, or even more powerful. But in reality, it does the opposite. It reveals insecurity, a lack of purpose, and an inability to focus on what truly matters. A wise woman, however, understands the power of words. She knows that what she says about others says more about her than about them. She does not engage in petty discussions, nor does she entertain conversations that seek to harm or degrade others. She values her time too much to waste it on meaningless chatter. She knows that while gossip may bring temporary excitement, it ultimately leads to broken relationships, lost respect, and a reputation that cannot be repaired. A foolish woman confuses gossip with connection. She believes that sharing secrets or talking about others strengthens her bonds with people. But the truth is, those who gossip with her will gossip about her. There is no loyalty in gossip, no true friendship in spreading private matters. She may believe she is the center of attention, but what she fails to see is that she is being used for entertainment, not respected for her character. A wise woman builds others up instead of tearing them down. She understands that words have weight. They can either heal or destroy. When she speaks with purpose, with kindness, and with wisdom. She listens more than she talks, and when she does talk, her words add value. She understands that real strength comes not from exposing others, but from uplifting them. A foolish woman creates unnecessary drama. She cannot stand peace, so she stirs conflict where there is none. She takes offense easily, twisting words and intentions to fuel her need for chaos. She enjoys watching people argue, whispering behind closed doors to keep the flames alive. But a wise woman does not have time for such things. She walks away from pointless battles. She understands that her energy is better spent on her own growth, on building her future, on things that truly matter. A foolish woman destroys her own reputation with her tongue. She thinks no one notices, but people always do. They remember the rumors she spread, the friendships she broke, the lies she told, and when she finally needs loyalty, she finds herself alone. The wise woman, however, earns trust and admiration because she knows when to stay silent, when to speak, and what is worth saying. If you have found yourself engaging in gossip and drama, step back and reflect. Ask yourself, is this making me better? Is this helping me grow? The choice is simple. Remain foolish or rise into wisdom. The power is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, short-sightedness is one of the greatest weaknesses a person can have. It is the inability to see beyond the present moment, to plan for the future, or to understand the consequences of one's actions. A foolish woman lives only for today. She makes decisions based on impulse, without thinking about how they will affect her tomorrow, next year, or even a decade from now. She avoids learning, ignores personal growth, and resists change because it requires effort. She seeks immediate pleasure and comfort, rather than investing in long-term success and wisdom. A wise woman, however, understands that life is not just about today, it is about building a future. She makes choices that will benefit her not only in the present, but in the years to come. She educates herself, saves money, nurtures valuable relationships, and invests in her personal development. She understands that true success is not achieved overnight, but through consistent effort, discipline, and vision. She does not waste her time on meaningless distractions. Instead, she focuses on growth, on learning, and on becoming the best version of herself. A foolish woman neglects self-improvement. She believes that she already knows enough, that she does not need to learn new skills, read books, or seek wisdom from others. She avoids challenges because they require her to step outside her comfort zone. But a wise woman embraces learning. She understands that knowledge is power and that growth is a lifelong process. She is always seeking to improve, to develop new skills, and to gain insight that will help her navigate life with confidence and intelligence. A foolish woman spends recklessly. She does not think about financial security or the importance of saving for the future. She spends money on things she does not need, trying to impress others or fill an emotional void. Then, when difficult times come, she finds herself unprepared, blaming life for her struggles instead of taking responsibility. A wise woman, on the other hand, understands the value of financial discipline. She saves, invests, and plans ahead. She knows that security and independence come from wise financial decisions, not from reckless spending. A foolish woman ignores the consequences of her actions. She makes choices based on temporary emotions rather than long-term benefits. She does not think about how her decisions today will affect her health, her career, her relationships, or her future self. A wise woman, however, understands that every decision has consequences. She thinks before she acts, knowing that short-term pleasure is often the enemy of long-term success. She values patience and discipline, knowing that the rewards of wise choices far outweigh the fleeting satisfaction of impulsive ones. If you find yourself living only for today, without concern for the future, it is time to change. Wisdom is not about knowing everything. It is about recognizing what you do not know and having the courage to learn. The question is, will you remain blind to the future, or will you rise and take control of your destiny? The choice is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, the company you keep shapes the person you become. A foolish woman surrounds herself with the wrong people, those who drain her energy, discourage her dreams, and keep her stuck in the same patterns of negativity and mediocrity. She allows toxic friendships and relationships to dictate her self-worth, holding on to people who do not truly value or uplift her. She does not realize that the wrong environment can stunt her growth, prevent her success, and lead her down a path of regret. A wise woman, however, chooses her circle carefully. She understands that she is a reflection of the people she spends the most time with. If she surrounds herself with those who complain, gossip, and make excuses, she will begin to adopt those same habits. But if she chooses to walk with those who are ambitious, kind, and wise, she will be inspired to rise higher. She does not waste time with those who bring her down. Instead, she invests in relationships that challenge her to be better, to think bigger, and to grow stronger. A foolish woman tolerates toxic relationships. She keeps people in her life out of fear of loneliness, fear of confrontation, fear of change. She allows others to manipulate, disrespect, or use her, believing that it is better to have unhealthy relationships than to be alone. But a wise woman knows that peace is more valuable than forced connections. She is not afraid to walk away from those who do not respect her, who do not contribute to her growth, or who bring negativity into her life. She understands that letting go of the wrong people makes room for the right ones. A foolish woman lets others dictate her life. She allows negative influences to sway her decisions, seeking approval rather than trusting her own judgment. She follows the crowd, fearing that standing alone will make her weak. But a wise woman understands that true strength comes from within. She does not allow the opinions of others to control her destiny. She listens, she learns, but ultimately she makes her own choices based on wisdom, not pressure. She stands firm in her values, even if it means standing alone. A foolish woman underestimates the power of influence. She believes that she can spend time with the wrong people without being affected. She does not realize that over time, the mind absorbs the energy, attitudes, and habits of those around it. But a wise woman protects her energy. She knows that in order to become the best version of herself, she must surround herself with people who encourage her, who push her toward greatness, and who genuinely want to see her succeed. If you look around and see that you are surrounded by negativity, it is time to make a change. Your environment shapes your future. The question is, will you settle for relationships that hold you back, or will you rise and build a circle that pushes you forward? The choice is yours.